A shocking, very sad night from WrestleDream. Just finished the AEW show. Bryan Danielson losing right in the middle of the ring. Probably the best part of the match to me was almost like the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment with Jon Moxley telling Bryan Danielson, "Don't make me do this," and Bryan Danielson spitting in his face, basically setting it up for Moxley to hit him with the suplex, and then I guess he hit him with a pile driver, didn't he? Hit him with a pile driver and then choked him out, and just the gasp from the crowd when they rang the bell. It almost reminded me of WrestleMania 30 with The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, where nobody could believe. I remember I was sitting in my seat and I was thinking that the ref, the timekeeper, they made a mistake. Like they took the wrong cue, and they had to find a way for for them to have a reason for the bell going off. And then they put the graphic up on the screen, 21-1, and I was like, man, there's a way out of this. And then the women started coming out to the ring. But man, I would have thought, honestly, that AEW, I'm not saying this is a knock on them, because they really have one hell of an angle going right now. It's easy to kind of point fingers that it's some sort of invasion like the NWO. The one thing from the invasion that didn't make any sense to me is that when Claudio came down with the rest of the club, they put the title inside of like a duffel bag. Is that because, they've already done the angle where they spray painted the big X on the title with CM Punk? They couldn't like spray paint the title because they've already done that in the company. I don't really know why they put it in the duffel bag to put it away, especially with the beatdown that would be coming. But Pac was out there with Claudio to help out, and then Wheeler Yuta, as well as Darby Allin, came down to make the save. And you could see it a mile away that Wheeler Yuta, the way they put the camera on Darby Allin in the corner, and Wheeler Yuta was on the opposite side with Bryan, just looking. You're like, oh, he's gonna turn. He's gonna turn. Don't turn, but he's gonna turn. And he came running across the ring, knocked down Darby Allin. They tape him up in the corner with duct tape in the corner of the ring, and they put the bag on Bryan Danielson's head, choke him out. Second time they pulled off this angle. How far are they going to be able to go with this? I'm not quite sure. AEW kind of runs independently. They got the big deal with HBO. They don't get big advertising deals for Dynamite with TNT or TBS. But there's got to be some fear out there of, some kid reenacting, putting a bag on his brother or his sister's head or something like that. Hopefully parents are parents, and they teach their kids that it's not a game, it's not a toy. It's pretty much written on every bag, I think, in the world these days. But when I thought Danielson was going to lose, I thought he was going to get his moment in the sun where he got to get up. We get to hear the final countdown one more time. We all know he's going to wrestle again. We don't know when it's going to be. It could be in 6 months. It could be in a year. It could be in 2 months. But whenever he gets the itch, or AEW has a really good idea, that they're going to pitch it, and he'll be able to get back into the ring. They've said it 1,000 times. He's not retiring. He's just done full time. He's not going to be on Dynamite and Collision and this, that, and the other, but I'm sure he'll be under contract for a long time, and he'll be the guy that they bring back like The Undertaker or Austin for every, big edition of the show that they have that they need a pop rating. Here comes Bryan Danielson down there. Maybe they'll even put him in some sort of a commissioner-like role where he doesn't have to be there week in and week out, but they can kind of plan, and he can kind of take over for Christopher Daniels, who was like running around in the back, breaking up fights nonstop. It seemed like WrestleDream was the night of debuts and returns, skirmishes and fights in the back, and it was what it was. But no Shane McMahon. Doesn't mean he's not coming. It took a while for them. You know, they had $1 billion Ted revealed as the leader of the NWO, and then, you know, shortly after that, it was revealed that Eric Bischoff was the true backer of the NWO, and then, you know, $1 billion Ted ended up joining WCW and managing the Steiners, and then just fading away. I don't think he went back to WWF, but hey, we made it through WrestleDream. As a whole, the show wasn't great. Could have done without the Private Party match. And also, when Private Party came running down, trying to break up the beatdown, it was like, these are the first guys out of the locker room. Where is everybody else? I mean, during this show, Jerry Lynn was in the back giving Orange Cassidy a pep talk, telling him that if he was a little bit more serious and if he believed in himself and he put the work in, he really could be a guy. And I think that was them trying to elevate him to be a main eventer. There's no time better than now to send him out to the ring to be the guy, to run those guys off. And instead, he's like the 15th guy out of the locker room. He was taking the tape off of Darby. But as of right now, I don't think he's a fronter in AEW. I think he's kind of still in that mid slot. If anybody's getting sent up to the main card to be the main event, it's probably going to be Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. It'll be a rematch from Moxley taking his title shot away from this show. So I guess the story will make sense. But as of right now, AEW needs a hero. They need one now.